full tip soft gel extensions. Which ones are better and how do they differ? In today's video, we will be comparing Kokoist Gelip versus Apres Gel's full tip soft gel extensions. Greetings all, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I am Paola of PaolaPonceNails.com, and I help aspiring nail solopreneurs master gel nails using Japanese gel only. Before we dive into today's video, I'll let you know of the newest drop in the Kokoist Japanese gel brand of products, and that is the Markers line non-wipe color gel. There are two options, black and white, and these gels differ from traditional black and white gels because they actually have a little bit of dimension to them. So if you're looking to create a little bit of raised nail art like lace patterns, these are your next must buys. Check out the link in the description box to purchase at 10% off. I often get asked, which do I prefer, Kokoist Gelip or Apres Gelix? And while often I just say buy this one for this reason or buy that one for that reason, I've come to realize that there is quite a difference between the gel products themselves and, most importantly, the tips from each brand. And that all has just come about with using both products for a little while now. Let us just briefly review the obvious similarities. Both sets of soft gel extension tips are full tips that are adhered with gel resin rather than nail glue. Now, often, and so very often, this controversial question comes up. Are the tips plastic or are they soft gel? Let's establish some key points. All tips are made up of some sort of soft gel type plastic, because think about it, when have you ever worked with a hard gel tip, one that did not particularly soak off? Probably never. Whether your tips came from Amazon or top nail companies like Apres and Kokoist, your tips are both plastic and soft gel. Now, what some companies do claim, including Apres, is that their tips are made from the same gel resin material they use to adhere the tip, and that is why they call their tips soft gel tips. But generally speaking, all tips are soft gel, and soft gel resin is a form of plastic. Just like gel polish and acrylic are also of a plastic material. So whether you wear Gel X, polygel, acrylic, you are wearing plastic nails. Now, as long as you understand this, call them whatever you like. In my book, all tips are soft gel and they are plastic, and I am okay with that. And guess what? My client definitely does not care. So let's get into some differences between both lines. And I will tell you off the bat that I am not going to put one above or below the other. So Kokoist Gelip does not claim to use the same gel resin material they use to create gel manicures as the same gel material used to craft the tips, and it's not necessarily a big deal. So the tips and the gel to adhere the tips are not the same product in the Kokoist line. Kokoist Gelip tips are made up of a high quality ABS plastic. What does ABS stand for? Compared to PVC, ABS plastic is strong and shock absorbent, most likely because of its ability to flex upon impact. And according to a source, ABS is one of the easiest plastics to handle, machine, paint, sand, or otherwise manipulate. Sounds like the perfect material for nail tips to me. So I want you to remember those characteristics when I show you a bit of Gelip application technique in a little bit, because all of these characteristics of ABS plastic are actually a big plus for full tip services. You actually want those things in the tips, right? Is there any other difference between each brand's tips? Yes, indeed. So you already know that Apres makes their tips from the same gel resin material to adhere the nail. Apres Gelix system offers an array of nail tip varieties from short and conservative to absolute extreme. They also offer a natural C-curve tip and sculpted C-curve. Now, do keep in mind that when you apply the sculpted type, if you or your client don't already have a some volume to your nail, as in a strong C-curve, you will have to add a lot of adhesion gel underneath the tip to fill in that space and adhere. So my recommendation is for you to match the tip's curvature to the natural nail. That way you're only using the amount of gel needed to adhere. If you or your client have flat nails, you may be better off with the natural shaped ones. Now, also added to the tips are size 00 for those people with white thumbs, so do know that this special sizing is available, I believe, for both Kokoist and Apres especially. And it's very essential to invest in a little baggie of these, especially if you are pro offering the service to paying clients. Now, Kokoist Gelip system does not offer a sculpted tip, and they also do not offer an extreme length. However, you can totally customize the tips to get either an extreme length and or a higher C curve, and this is where some of the qualities of ABS plastic come to play. Remember, ABS is a plastic easy to manipulate. It's flexible. So in order to get a sculpted look on natural nails, all you would do with Gelip is roll it and maintain that curve by not pressing too hard on the tip as you go ahead and adhere it onto the nail. Now, to create a bit of an extreme length with Gelip, all you would do is bring the tip more forward and away from the eponychium area. You would then overlay it with gel. Now, as far as what gel to use to adhere the tips, strongly recommend you use the one from the company you purchase. I definitely have seen a lot of video titles talking about dupe application or using any clear gel to adhere the tips. And if you're DIY and this works for you, you do you. But if you are a pro, I think you owe your clients a level of professionalism and responsibility that is also backed by whatever company you decide to go for. Now, with that being said, I have used the Apres Extend Gel adhesive on the Gelip tips with success. So I've mixed and matched from each brand. They definitely have it here. I think the dupe method consists of getting any base gel from just online or any other gel company, not carrying the actual quick tips, and using it as your gel to adhere. Again, you do you. Personally, I would not use anything other than the Apres Extend Gel adhesive gel on my Gel X application, except for the Kokoist Mega Stick Base. I may try that as this is the gel used to adhere Gelips, but I personally would not experiment too much on gel tip adhesives. That puzzle, my friend, has already been figured out for you. For me, it is either Apres Extend Gel or Kokoist Mega Stick Base, and that's it. Now, this brings me to the next most popular question I get asked about Kokoist Gelip, and that is, what gel should I use to adhere the Gelip tip? As of a month or two ago, Kokoist released a new base gel called Mega Stick Base. Prior to the existence of this base, we used to adhere our tips with Platinum Bond Dual. Platinum Bond Dual wears a little bit like a hard gel, and for me, it did not match the flexibility of the Gelip and my natural nails. And so it was a bit difficult for me to get more than a 2-week wear out of them. And if you've had any issues yourself, please, please, please immediately switch to Mega Stick Base. I think this will be the answer for a long wearing monthly set. And you will see night and day difference. I've not used Kokoist Mega Stick Base with Gel X tips. I could imagine it will work. And if you've tried it, maybe you can let us know in the comment section how that worked out for you. The concept of application for both systems are essentially the same, right? Take a base gel and use it to adhere plastic tips. Fine, soft gel tips, whatever you want to call them. But there is a slight difference actually. Apres Gel X system requires a dehydrator and bonder prior to application. Kokoist Gelip system does not, and that is the case for all Japanese gel I've ever worked with. Kokoist is Japanese gel. No dehydrator or bonder needed. This characteristic of Japanese gel for me is a game changer. I have not used a bonder and dehydrator as standard procedure for my services for years, and while perhaps other soft gel systems will start making the shift to that, I've always valued this unique characteristic of Japanese gels and biosculpture, which is, by the way, the mother of soft potted gel systems. And it is why I made the switch almost 6 years ago. And if you want to learn a little bit more about this shift in my nail journey, make sure to check out my free class in the description box below. You'll really enjoy it. A dehydrator and bonder system extract moisture from the nails, leading to nail brittleness and weakness. So of course, if you are getting this quick tip system service done once a month, you can limit this damage regardless of what system you use. And soft gel extension tips are, generally speaking, less damaging because of the gentle prep process. And by the way, Kokoist Gelip tips are already matted and pre-roughened on the underside, and all you have to do is wipe them with 90% alcohol prior to adhering for the best adhesion. Now lastly, and I think this last bit of information is going to really help you make up your mind if you are in between systems. For this, I want us to really examine each brand's tips. Notice how Apres tips are slightly thicker, and if you have ever tried them on your own self, you know the fit is unparalleled. fits like a glove. They truly feel like they were molded just for you. This is why Apres is an excellent system for applying the tips and just moving on to the fun stuff like nail art. It really takes the burden out of creating extensions and gets you to the fun stuff really fast. For this reason also, Apres is loved by the DIY community here on YouTube too. So as long as they can get an even straight application, they are golden as far as the look and feel of a salon professional manicure, and that's all I care about. In the salon, however, I as a professional felt obligated to do a little extra tapering around the cuticle area and even tighten up the shape just a tad. But that is totally optional. Again, the point of these is to put them on and get going. Again, I as a pro just felt kind of obligated to do this for my client. Well, Kokoist Gelip system kind of embraces this pro guilt and actually encourages a gel overlay application after adhering the Gelip tip. For this reason alone, Kokoist prefers that the tips be applied actually 2 to 3 millimeters away from the cuticle area, and longer if you so wish for a longer length. That way you have a seamless transition and you can guarantee that there will be no lifting on any part of the lateral nail fold because the tip touches the skin and that causes a little bit of lifting, so you don't have to worry about that. Now, if you absolutely want to push the full tips all the way backward up to the epinecum area, especially for creating press-ons, there is no harm in doing that with Gelip. You can totally still do that. Now, because an overlay and pinching the Gelip is strongly recommended as part of your application, you will find that Kokoist tips are relatively thinner than Gel-X, which I'm totally okay with because even after just one coat of gel cured on there, the Gelip tips are thicker and stronger. Now you can overlay your Apres tips, just make sure to thin them down a bit by buffing or filing them down a little bit. But Apres Gel-X do not require overlaying, and I wouldn't. And if you're wondering if you can cut these full tips, cutting the tips, whether Gelip or Gel-X, can crack them. And if you don't do it carefully enough, at an angle sort of, you could cause it to lift at that free edge area, which will be super annoying. Make sure you or your client, this is very important, opt for the most desirable style, shape, and length before the service. And if you do need to adjust the length, use a nail file rather than clippers. As far as pricing, Apres is about $10 more, but do know that their quantities are 500 pieces versus Kokoist 300 pieces. So Apres Gel-X or Kokoist Gelip for the win. I want to know what you've decided on after this video. Let me know in the comment section. If you are interested in learning more about soft gel systems and how they can revolutionize your nail journey, make sure to check out my free class. The link is in the description box below. For more tips and tricks and to join us live every Thursday, make sure to join us in our private community of soft gel specialists and solopreneurs. That link is also down below in the description box. By the way, big thank you for 10,000 subscribers. We have been doing this for about a year now consistently, and we're starting to see a little bit of the fruits of our labor. So thank you very much for 10,000 followers. We are going strong, and hopefully we can get to 100,000 by the end of this year. Maybe I'm being too ambitious, but that's all right. I can do that, right? So to commemorate, to celebrate our 10,000 followers, I want to do a giveaway. So in the description below, you'll see a link to a mega giveaway for you to enter and hopefully win. All right, thanks again. Bye. Have a merry start to the week, and I'll see you in the next one.